I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the newly crowned UK Open champion, Andrew Gilding. Thanks for the time, Andrew. How are you doing?
You're very welcome. I'm doing great, thank you. I'm still buzzing.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you said on stage on Sunday night you couldn't believe it. We're talking only a couple of days after from the title win. Has it started to sunk in now that you are a major champion, or is it still taking some time?
Starting to, I suppose. I'm trying my best not to get too excited about it, but people keep reminding me.
And I listened to the interview that you did. I think it was with Dutch TV after the final, and they asked you how you were going to celebrate, and you said by going to sleep. It's quite a long day that Sunday, but did you manage to squeeze in a small celebration?
Oh yeah, you want to know my celebration? I got back to the hotel. Someone was kicking the snack machine because it was out of order. Nowhere was open to get food, so I had to go to the car and dig out a pot noodle. Thank you very much.
You've obviously since then you've had the long trip back to East Anglia. You mentioned you went and saw your mum afterwards. You've done that journey to Minehead many times over the years, but this one must have felt a bit more enjoyable with that trophy on board as well.
Yeah, I remember coming back when I made the semi-final a few years ago, absolutely buzzing, but this was surreal, I tell you. A trophy. I got a trophy. Mind you, I got a bigger trophy in Belgium for the runner-up. This one is nicer.
We saw that there was a video on social media as well that the Suffolk County team, they had a long trip back on Sunday night from County Durham. They were watching you on their phones, the cheers when you won the title, the messages of congratulations. It must have been non-stop since Sunday night.
I saw a video of Jean watching me hit the final dart on the bus. Wow, that atmosphere. Apparently someone else said that's the most amazing bus journey they ever had home from county. They were like singing for 5 hours. I'm going to see the boys tonight probably, so that's going to be crazy.
We last had you on our show in October last year. It was just after you run to that final on the Euro Tour in Belgium, and you said you kept losing in the final. You had to do something about that. Well, the next final you're in, you've done that. You've won one.
I did actually. When I talked on the stage, as a runner-up, I said, I'll win the next one. Didn't think I would. I honestly thought I'd have to go through like the initiation process of missing a couple of match starts for a major or something, like everyone else does. But somehow it went in.
And you mentioned to the guys as well, if you won titles, you wanted to be someone that no one hates. You wanted people to like you as well. And judging from the crowd's reaction on Sunday, it sounds like you were a popular winner as well.
Yeah, I can't believe they're singing for me. I'd say, yeah, I don't want to be anyone who tries to put the opponent off or anyone who gets too big in their boots. I just want to, enjoy it, but don't take it too seriously, if you know what I mean.
We'll come back to the weekend in a moment, but when we last spoke 2022, it was a big year for you getting back into a lot more of the TV events, and that finished with the World Championship at the end of last year, your first time back at Ali Pali in 7 years. What was it like going back there and walking up on that stage again?
Yeah, that's great. I like that. That's big there. The crowd is loud, usually, especially if you're playing a big player. I couldn't believe anywhere could be louder than Blackpool, but when I played Gary Anderson there a few years ago, that's the loudest crowd I've ever had in my life. Mind you, they're pretty loud in Minehead, actually, especially during the breaks when they were singing the songs. They were singing Robbie Williams and Country Roads and stuff like that. That was quite an experience. I don't know if they caught that on telly.
I think we caught the end of Angels at one point. Yeah, it looked like a great atmosphere. And
that was an experience. Everyone singing.
The Worlds, of course, ended with that defeat to Dave Chisnell, and it was a closer game, I thought, than the scoreline suggests. Then you had a break before the Pro Tours. Did that give you a bit of time to reflect on the 2022 that you had, the strides that you'd made?
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed that break. That was a long break. I needed rest. I've got hobbies outside of darts. I like to play guitar, and I recently got a little drum kit I'm just starting to learn. Someone gave me a flute. I love music. I love high-end stereo equipment as well. Unfortunately, that's expensive. But I've got a nice stereo in my car. I like to blast. That makes the long drives worthwhile. So I love music. I love computers and games. So any time off I get, I enjoy.
Well, you had a couple of Pro Tour weekends to kick off this year. Then it was the UK Open and this event, which, of course, even before the weekend, it holds some fond memories. You got there as a Riley's qualifier 2011, the run to the semis in 2015. So how are you feeling going into this year's UK Open?
Yeah, I remember Riley's qualifier when that was at Bolton. Wow, that was a venue. That used to get really hot there. And now Minehead's getting a reputation of being a little bit cooler. I'd prefer the cooler, thank you. Yeah, I remember beating Andy Hamilton and Brendan Dolan, actually, when I was a qualifier. That was my first big break, I think. That was before I turned pro, obviously. But yeah, what is it about Minehead? I suppose the open draw is handy because no disrespect to other players, but I had an easier draw than some people had, like Luke Humphries, for example. He had Damon Hetter, Michael Smith, Gary Anderson, did he play as well?
I think Van Gerwen he went out to in the end.
Oh, Van Gerwen, yeah. What a draw, right?
Well, you mentioned that draw as well, because we'll touch on the run that you had. You beat your good friend Darren Webster in your first game, then a 99 average got you past Ricky Evans. Are you a player who's then going to watch the draw as it happens live, or do you wait to hear who you've got next?
I just wait. I'd get back to my hotel room whatever chance I get. I'd try and get ready for the next day or the next game. I was going backwards and forwards to Butlins twice a day during the tournament. Luckily, there's enough time just to have a little kip and get back on it. Well, that made a big difference, I think. I didn't play that well on Saturday. I was averaging low 90s, high 80s on Saturday, so I was lucky to get through those games. Glad to beat Darren. Me and him have got a bit of a rivalry going over the years. We like to rib each other about these things. He keeps saying to me, come back and talk to me when you won a tour event. So no, you know what he's going to get now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to look forward to that. Well, you mentioned the Saturday as well. You got past Luke Woodhouse, Brendan Dolan, gets you into the quarterfinals, back into that Sunday, the finals day. And I was trying to think, is that the first time you've played on that main stage since that semi-final with Van Gerwen, or have you played on there since?
No, that was probably the last time, yeah. That felt totally different because we went in from a different way, I think. And obviously my memories are from the final now, and that absolutely packed out that was. I've never seen it so full, I don't think.
Let's get on to that Sunday then, a special day for you. A 10-4 win against Martin Schindler gets you back into the semi-finals, and you said you wanted to go one better. You got past Adam Gavlas 11-6, and when the draw comes out for those semi-finals, you've got the two Premier League players in one semi, you and Adam. It's a massive opportunity for both players in that other semi-final. So how did you approach that game?
Well, I saw his celebration. He was punching the air and tipping water on his head, and I thought, he seemed quite relaxed. But then when I played him, he didn't seem all that relaxed, did he? He was missing a few. I mean, beating Martin the way I did, I expected a closer game there because he's an underrated player, I think. He's right up there at the moment. I was steady. All through the tournament, I don't think I ever averaged over 100, did I? I was mid-90s, low 90s, just steady and plodding along. That's been the difference, I think. I'm taking out finishes when I need to. And that's my strongest part of my game, I think, is my finishing at the moment. But yeah, Adam, I was talking to him behind the stage. He's only 21. It's a great achievement. And he'll always be remembered for the water incident. He's got some character. He's a good chap to talk to as well, and his girlfriend or whoever that was, or his wife. I didn't realise it's pronounced Scavlas.
Yeah.
I've been saying Gaullus.
Either works, I think. Well, you've beaten Adam. You've done your interview. Then there's the break, the second semi-finals being played, and you've gone, I guess, from a very busy practice room on the Friday afternoon and evening to being the only player left in as the other two fight it out on the stage. What was that 45 minutes or an hour like in between your semi-final and then the final?
Yeah, I was watching the other game for a long part, and then got up and had a little practice. It gets pretty spooky at the later parts of the tournament. Because at the start of the weekend, there's like six people on a board, everyone fighting for practice time, and then all of a sudden you're in a dark room on your own, but where it should be the most busy time, really, shouldn't it? But I suppose it gives you a chance to get your head together.
Well, then comes the final against Michael van Gerwen. He takes the first two legs, but I guess that was the first test for you. You answered it, winning the next four. Did that settle any nerves going on that little run and not seeing Michael race away with it like we've seen him do so many times before?
No, I didn't realise that I'd won the next four. No, like I say, the key to darts, one of the keys to darts is to not think. Just get up there and do it and play your game. Do all your hard work in practice and get ready for it, and then just let them go. And if you can do that, obviously keep your head on for counting and stuff, but not think too much about the crowd or, don't get nervous. I don't know how to do it. That's just experience, I think.
And the final itself, obviously, Michael went back in front after that. He was ahead for the rest of the game, but you got it back to 10-all. And watching at home, you couldn't tell it was your first major final. As you say, you looked so calm up there. But how were you feeling inside going into that decider?
Unbelievably calm. You'd have thought, I've been up there before where my stomach's turning over, your butterflies. This time there wasn't. Even though the crowd was roaring, and I could hear that, I didn't get that fluttery feeling anymore. And you'd expect that going for a winning dart for a major, you'd expect to get the wobbles a little bit. But it didn't happen. Thanks.
and Michael, he often talks about the right shots at the right times, and I've got to say that 180 in the decider to go from 256 to 76, that couldn't have been timed any better. And my co-host Burton, he noticed you were smiling as that third treble 20 went in the board. In that pressure moment, you looked to be having fun up there as well.
Yeah, I remember the smiling a lot when I played Michael 8 years ago. That's a lovely feeling. I've seen Gary Anderson do it as well when he was winning these world championships. You see him turn around and he's got a big grin on his face, and he's there. He's in the zone, if you can find that. I mean, the man Phil Taylor, he seemed to be able to do that on demand. That's the secret. I don't know how he did it. Hopefully, I'll find out.
You've added your name to a very short list of players that have won a PDC major. Can you describe what that moment was like when you hear the game shot, you're being announced as the UK Open champion? I
think it's easier to feel something when you watch it back on video. But at the time, I was totally stunned and total disbelief. And I remember the moment I remember mostly is when the confetti went off and I looked up and I couldn't see anything outside that confetti that was so thick and dense. I was just there by myself. This rain of paper coming down.
And just a few more before we let you go. It was mentioned on ITV as well. You were the oldest first-time finalist in a PDC major as well. And remember when we spoke before, those early memories of darts, and you mentioned it to the guys earlier, you didn't really take it seriously until your mid-30s. So to now be a major champion, that's been quite a journey the last 20-odd years.
It is. Got to say, don't ever give up. It's never too late. I mean, I was washed up when I was miserable, and somehow it all turned around. Oh, here comes a dog. Watch it. It's never too late. If you want to do something, just give it a go.
And away from the weekend, you've recently moved into that Pro Tour top 16, which is a good place to be seeded for the Euro Tours. But it's back to Barnsley this weekend. Is it good to have those events straight away so you can try and look towards another goal, or would you have liked to have a bit more time to let this all sink in?
I'm quite looking forward to going back, actually, just to see Darren and rub it in a bit. That's going to be the most fun bit, because me, Darren, Jeff Smith and Matt Campbell sit on the table, and we love to give him a bit of a dig, because he's one of the funniest people on tour. He's always got a story for you. But we do like to bring him down a peg or two sometimes.
And just lastly, aside, you mentioned it, the Gibraltar Open you won on the WDF side, but Sunday that was your first PDC title. I guess now the next target is to work backwards. You've got a major, now you want to tick off a Players' Championship and a Euro Tour as well this year.
Yeah, that's a nice way to do it, really. I usually do things incrementally, one step at a time, but this is a little bit of a leap. So yeah, Pro Tour would be lovely, because I think that's a real tough one, that is, because you don't get to start in the third round. You have to start from the first, and you usually got to go through a seeding system, so you're going to definitely place a few big players on them. You don't get these random draws. So yeah, that's my next goal, I think. Maybe get to another final. Just get up there and get in the TV tournaments. I'd love to get in the TV tournaments this year as well. I know I'm in the Grand Slam, which is great, and most probably the World Championships, if not definitely. So match playing that lot, that'd be nice.
Excellent. Well, Andrew, congratulations on the title of the weekend. It was great to watch, and wish you all the best for what else is to come this year. And thanks very much for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.